Hello again. Well, how time flies. Programme 4 in the series already, and so far it's been a story of contrasts. We started at Cambridge with cycling, then it was dodging the puddles at Silverstone, motor racing there, and last week the brute force of dragster racing at Santipod. And tonight we're back at one of our favourite venues, Foxhall Stadium, Ipswich, for a touch of Biff Bang Wallop, the 1991 National Hot Rod World Championship meeting with Irishman David McCall, a surprise winner here last year, defending his title.
So 9:42, looking set to take this one by half a clear lap at the moment, ahead of 9:94. Keith Martin some way back in the second place. The checkered flag is at the ready as they come through. It's 942, David McCall, who is the new hot rod champion of the world, 994. Keith Martin comes home in second place.
Well, it's a very busy programme tonight. We've also got stock cars and stock rods, and that indeed is where we start with the stock rods. They are the smaller brothers of the hot rods, 1300cc, a cheaper formula, and always very competitive. This tonight is the 1991 Euro Cup. We're hoping for a local success, and here are a couple of the contenders to watch out for.
Melly Cook from Norwich, number 524, world champion 88, should have won it in 89, won it in 90. That's not a bad record, Melly. Can you do it again?
Well, we're going to be trying. I'm pleased to be where I am up the grid. You know, we had a wet meeting last time for the qualifying positions. We had a problem with the front of the car, which hopefully we're rectified now, but there's been no practice today, so it's just trial and error, really.
Mark Paffrey from Hampshire, number 160, on pole position. Mark, you must be very happy with that start.
Yeah, I'm very happy, nervous as well.
Right then, away we go, the 1991 Stock Rod Euro Cup. Your commentator, Nigel King.
The starting marshal then mounts the rostrum, flags are at the ready, and that's it, we're underway. 30 laps to come for this Euro Cup final. One of these 1300cc stock rods now to do battle for this important title. And the young man who's carrying all the pressure at the moment is Mark Paffrey in the 160 car right at the front. And the pressure couldn't be stronger in second place than car number 524, Melly Cook, the reigning world and European champion. So there's Mark Paffrey in 160, 524, Mel Cook right on his tail. He'll be looking for a chance to go through. As soon as there's a gap, he'll be there. 65 is Mark Willis in third place. 524 is currently top of the national points chart, and 65 is second in the points chart. So star grade driver 160 has got the two top men currently sitting right on his tail. Already they're beginning to come round behind some of the slower cars as Mel Cook looks for a chance on the outside, and as soon as he moves over, young Willis puts his nose up on the inside, and Mel Cook quickly moves back over to chop it off. Well, Mark Paffrey said before the race he was a little nervous, and he has reason to be. The pressure is on now, he's out wide and he's not going to recover from that. I don't think he'll be able to hold Mel Cook now on the outside. 524 is through, 65 will follow through, Mark Willis will go through with him. So 524, Mel Cook is the leader, 65, Mark Willis is in second place, 160, Mark Paffrey is third, 198, Andy Stewart comes next, then the 13 car of Graham White, second in the European Championship, comes next, and behind him the 69 car of Tick Stewart. That's the way they go, and there's a problem somewhere here. We've got this 356 car on the home straight right in front of our commentary position here, sideways across the track, just at the point, of course, where they exit that bend, and that is why the red flag has gone out.
So after the wounded car was removed, the race was restarted.
7 laps have been completed so far in this 30-lap event, and right at the front is 524 Mel Cook, and he gets right away with Mark Willis in 65 in second place right behind him. Then comes 160, Mark Paffrey, behind him the 198 car of Andy Stewart, and then behind him it's 13 Graham White. So that's the order. Somewhere in there we've got a couple of cars from Holland, the 44 and 4 cars of Wim Waiters and Leon Beckers, and we got a couple of representatives from north of the border, if you see them, the 28 car of Jim Somerville from Scotland and Jim Valentine in the 139 car. But it's England that's dominating this race, East Anglia in particular, with the Norwich driver 524 Mel Cook, who is well there at the moment. Got things well under control. So 524 is Mel Cook, and here we've got 198, Andy Stewart from Great Bromley, currently third in the national points chart. And a lot of pressure coming on him from the 13 car of Graham White from Avinjahammer down there in Surrey. They're battling it out for 4th, 5th and 6th places. The other one in there is the 317 car of Perry Clack, who was second in the 1990 World Championship. But up front and increasing his lead is 524 Mel Cook. As you come off this turn, you see the gap there between first, there's the second, third, 4th, 5th and 6th. And more problems. The 64 car of Roy McCain from Ballymoney in Ireland is in the middle of the track and looking very sick now, having just been clouted quite severely. Now, quite what's going to happen over there, we've got a red flag sign. That means we've got to stop once again. It is right in the middle of that straight, and he took a fairly nasty whack a moment or two ago. So once again, that car will have to be removed.
Mel, how's all these stops going to affect you?
The stops are pain in the bum, to say the least. Car feels good. I've got a bit of rear tyre problem, which I think the tyre's going off. How many laps have we got? 17 to go. Yeah, I think maybe the car just might sit there. I feel as if the car has got more go in it, but if the tyre was to give way on me, probably 5 laps to go, then it'll be an exciting race. Marcus close on my back there, but I think I can keep him at bay anyway.
So another restart with the main contest now for the positions behind Mel Cook, who hung on to the first place confidently.
And he has now opened out a lead of something like 50 yards on this chasing group. The chasing group still led by 65 with 317 and 13 right on their tails, and then there's a little bit of a gap to another bunch behind them. The 500 driver there, Bruce Wilcox, just waving some of the others through. He sees that the placemen are battling away there, and he does the correct thing, moves to the outside of the track, gives them room to come through. But this bunch getting held up by some of the back markers now. We're inside the final 5 laps. And trouble there for 310 goes round. Sean O'Leary from Newbury, he's out of it. But that won't be a problem in that position there. There's plenty of room for them to get round. And anyway, he looks as if he can get going again. Perry Clack, meanwhile, has moved ahead of Dave Willis in 317. So we've still got 524 Mel Cook, the leader. 317, Perry Clack has now gone second. Dave Willis is third in 65. Then we go back to the 13 car with 198 and 69. They're the other placemen. 3 more laps to go now. Very cool, calm and collected Mel Cook. He's really got this one in the bag. He's making it very, very easy for him. 317 is the guy who's looking all set to take second place now. He's opened out a gap ahead of 65 Dave Willis. He can just afford to cruise around. Here's 317 in second place. He's got 65 just on his tail. Inside the final lap now, and Mel Cook's going to take this Euro Cup. I don't think there's much doubt about that now. There's no one to stop him. He's coming off the final bend. The checkered flag is at the ready. And that's a nice win for him. Perry Clack comes home second in 317. Willis in the 65 car is third.
3 laps from home, the tyre went completely off on me, and I tended to struggle a little bit then, but then I looked in my mirror and looked up on the scoreboard there and see that there was nobody there for at least half a lap on me.
So just how bad was it? You say the tyre actually came off?
No, what it actually does is that when you say the tyre goes off, it's a racing term we use where the tyre gets too hot, and the rubber then turns to just like jelly, you know, and it doesn't give you any stability on the back at all. Therefore, the back half of the car was breaking away. But fortunately, I stayed at home with victory anyway.
Right then, time for our first World Championship event, the 1600cc hot rods. The middle class of the sport, really. Many drivers here on their way up to national hot rods. It's over 40 laps. Let's take a quick look at some of the contenders.
Dave Longhurst, number 230 from Worthing, not only the world champion, but a great list of titles. Can't remember all of them. Dave, you're in pole position here. Does this mean you're the favourite and you're going to win it?
Well, I'd like to think so, but it's going to be a very hard race. A lot of laps.
But you're going so well, and this track suits you, does it?
Yeah, I've always been pleased with this track, get on well around here, but we haven't had a very good year so far this year. But hopefully today we can keep up the good lap.
Nigel Murphy, number 498 from Martlesham Heath, just down the road. We got you down as a local favourite, Nigel. You got a chance?
Yes, I must be in with a chance. As you can see, I've got 4 cars in front of me. I must have a say in the matters, or I certainly intend to anyway.
And what about the tactics here?
Yeah, remove the brain and go for 40 laps. Now, if I can stay in touch with the leader and hopefully make a move in traffic, that's what I intend to do.
Right then, there's 35 cars lined up on the grid here for the 1600cc Hot Rod World Championship Final. The starting marshal is at the ready. Here we go. And what a roar from those engines as they all hurtle away from the start line. A long, long way to go. 40 laps this one around this large Ipswich raceway. And straight into the lead from pole position. The man who has been unstoppable for the last 12 or 18 months in this particular formula, the driver of car number 230, Dave Longhurst, reigning world and European champion. And a major problem here, there's going to be a red flag on this, as 6 cars all finish up in quite a pile up, and 47 looks, Jan Keepers from Holland appears to be perhaps the car that is worst bent there. That certainly went in with quite a whack, and that's an awful long journey from Holland to come here just to do about 100 yards. Well, here we are then at the very start of the second lap, and the car you want to keep an eye on, the yellow car on the inside, is the Dutchman. In the middle of the picture, the 80 car of Lee Fishwick gets pushed sideways, and there he catches the back of the Dutchman's car, pushes him sideways on to the oncoming traffic, and of course the rest of the field just ploughs straight in, and that's what's caused the pile-up.
Which all meant a fresh start, and when they settled down, it was the pack now chasing 2 leaders, the men from Sussex, Dave Longhurst, number 230, and Keith Rummery, number 74.
So there's first, second, non-placed, then third is 665, fourth is 498, is right on the inside, and he's moved up through as somebody went very, very wide indeed there, and lost quite a lot of ground. 77, I think, was one of them there, and 3 went very wide. So it's 665 is now third, Dave Willis. 498, Nigel Murphy is 4th. 77, Vic Oliver is 5th. Number 3, Mickey Codling is 6th. Just on halfway, exactly halfway. 20 laps gone, 20 more to go in this 1600cc Hot Rod World Championship Final. And defending title holder 230, Dave Longhurst, at the moment is looking very much as if he could just sit there for another 20 laps and hang on to the title. No doubt the man sitting on his tail has other ideas, but has he got enough under the bonnet there to put those ideas into practice? These are the leaders. This is back now to the second, to third, fourth and fifth places. 665, Dave Willis. 498, Nigel Murphy, harassing him somewhat. 77, Vic Oliver sticking with them. Now, what's going to happen here? 665 looks just a little wide as they come to that turn, but he moves back over and closes the door, so local man Nigel Murphy can't nip through. Dave Willis, very experienced driver, drove super stocks and stock saloons for many, many years. Had about 13 years, I think, in the super stocks, quite a few years in stock saloons. So he won't stand any nonsense. Getting terribly close there as they come round that back marker car. So it's 665, still holding third place, Dave Willis from Slough in Buckinghamshire, being chased by local man from Martlesham, 498, Nigel Murphy, with number 3, Mickey Codling, another ex-stock saloon man in the number 3 car, just sitting right behind them. There you are, and Vic Oliver in 77 is next. Meanwhile, way out front, the other 2 are still sticking together. Nothing to separate them, still Dave Longhurst in 230, and 74, Keith Rummery. Now, Dave Longhurst is currently top of the national points chart, and Keith Rummery is about halfway down the reds, in fact, so he's quite a few points behind, but the way he's driving, he's certainly giving measure for measure at the moment. And even looking as if a slight opportunity should present himself, he'll be through like a shot. So 2:30 and 74, still first and second. In third place, it's 6:65. Dave Willis with 4:98. Nigel Murphy in fourth place, right behind him. And the others are still there. Mickey Codling, you can just see there on the left of the picture in the number 3 car. They're third, fourth and fifth, those three. Get a little bit of water, possibly on the track, or maybe that's that they're being balked. In fact, the blue flag, I think, there is indicating that some of the slower cars are, in fact, obstructing the line of some of the placemen who are trying to get through, and that's instructing them to move out of the way. So let's have another look at the lap sheet as we come to the three-quarter stage. 29 laps gone now, and still absolutely nothing to choose between those two, except that 74 Keith Rummery is now beginning to look for a few openings and do something a little bit more positive. There's a scrap going on there as Dave Willis goes wide and loses right out and drops down one place. There's a beautiful piece of tactical driving from 498 Nigel Murphy. Before the race, he said he'd only got 4 cars in front of him on the grid, and he was reckoning himself in with a good chance, and there obviously was a little gap, an opportunity, and he took it, and he's up to third place. And here it is again. This is what happened. You can see 665 on the right of the picture is wide. The door is wide open. The Alan Dent car is in the way at the moment, but 498 took a chance, went through on the inside, took Dave Willis well out towards the safety fence as they came off there, and that unsettled him, but it did leave Nigel Murphy moving up one place to take third at the moment, and there he is. Meanwhile, back up front, it's getting a little repetitive, isn't it? 2:30 and 74, and this isn't repetitive. This is the first time we've seen a real challenge now from the 74 car, and look at the ease with which he sailed through there. I can't believe that. Dave Longhurst has seemed almost invincible up to now, and as we look at the sheets, 33 of the 40 laps have gone, and 74. Keith Rummery from Crowhurst in Sussex cruises through without any trouble at all to take up the lead in this World Championship final, and here it is again. Let's just see how easily he sails through. The back end of the 230 car goes out of shade. That opens the door. There's room to go. I think there's room. It looks as if they nudge. Yes, they're certainly just touching maybe slightly as they go through. But by this stage, Dave Longhurst is well wide, and there's plenty of room for 74 to become the leader in this race. Here's Dave Longhurst. Doesn't seem to be anything obviously wrong with the car. It's just that 74 is that much quicker and is now into the final lap. He's got a clear road ahead of him. Those back marker cars aren't going to worry him. Into the final turn he comes, sailing home to the championship. Over the line, and we have a new 1600cc Hot Rod World Champion. It's car number 74 and driver Keith Rummery. 2:30 Dave Longhurst comes home in second place, and 4:98 Nigel Murphy is third.
Well, gentlemen, congratulations. A tremendous race, and main congratulations to you, Keith. What about that?
Well, I'm amazed, but it was a shame to take it away from Dave, because he's been a good world champion for the last year, and I knew it was hard to get past him. And he only gave me one chance, so I thought I'd better take it.
What about it, Dave?
One too many, that's all he wanted.
You led for so much of the race. I mean, it was, what, 33 laps?
Yeah, it felt like about 93. Kept getting a neck out. I know he's there, I know he's there.
What about that overtaking manoeuvre then, Nigel? Take us through it.
Well, I just see him go a little bit wide on the corner. He didn't give me only half a car, but we tried to get through there, and corner cutting, yeah. We thought, well, we'd better take it this time. You don't give much away, you see.
A little nudge, a little bump there, Dave?
Well, nah, not at all, not at all. I left home, he took it.
And the best of friends at the end?
Yeah, always are.
Yeah, we decided that. We're out for a meal next week. So, no, I'm paying, yeah.
Well done, gents.
Thank you.
So, confirmation there of a 1-2 for the men from Sussex. Now, we thought Nigel Murphy had finished third in car number 498, but Murphy from Martlesham Heath has been disqualified for making contact. Remember, this is a non-contact sport, and that means that number 451, Dave Story from Beccles, moves up to take 5th place. So that's one world title in the bag. In a moment, it's the big one, the National Hot Rod World Championship. Back after the break.
The new Ford Anglia Deluxe. White wall tyres, two-tone paint job, all for the same price as the standard model. You won't buy a better car for the money. The new limited edition J-Reg Ford Escort Anglia. Rear spoiler, metallic paint job, radio cassette, driving lights, all for £7,999. Less than the price of the popular model.
What do you think, Dad?
You won't buy a better car for the money.
Anglia Ford dealers for the best deals around.
Do you speak English?
Sí. Bobby Charlton. Novia Steelers.
Is there a telephone here? Telephone?
Ah, sí, sí. Ah, Pelé.
New Radiant Micro is the best yet. Best yet against built-up greasy stains and stale smells, because the more you use it, the more Radiant Micro removes the greasy build-up that can trap stains and cause smells. New Radiant Micro, it's the best yet.
Cold point, wash point, clean point, credit point, hot point. You know where to come.
That's a nice rig, sir.
That's not a rug buff. It is a Bedouin birthing blanket. Tradition has it, a powerful aid to fertility.
Great! I'll get me mum one.
A Barclay card, put it away, buff. The Tuareg are an ancient people. They respect only hard cash and hard bargaining.
انت مجنون.
شمالي دك.
جاي من فين انت مش فاهمك. انت مجنون.
Thank you. Boa.
You sound fluent, sir.
We are both fluent, buff. Sadly, in different languages. How much is the rug?
So, where did your Barclay card get you? Well, it got me reg insured for the next 3 months.
Insurance, buff. I think I can handle a rug. Ah, smell those Tuareg campfires. Unmistakable. Look, shoot, push off.
How was your flight?
Better than the cab ride. That's strange.
What?
Where'd you find all these computer people anyway?
What are you talking about?
I've got 24 PCs in my department, and my people hardly touch them.
You don't have the wrong people. You have the wrong computers.
The most powerful computer is the one people actually use, Apple Macintosh.
Welcome back. Well, next it's our feature event, the 1991 National Hot Rod Championship of the World. Now in its 20th year, there are 30 drivers in all, 20 of those are Englishmen, but it's the Irish who could again take some stopping.
It'll be a lot harder today, and I thought, well, I had wet tires on last year, and most of the oils are dry, so I had a big advantage last year. Today will be hard.
Jeff, the doubtful privilege of having one of our cameras in the car, is that going to put you off?
Not really, I don't think, Jerry. No, I think in the past they've said that it's a bit of a bad luck, but no, I'm going to just put that to the back of my mind and try and forget about the camera and just get on with driving.
Steve, you've got your old car and left your new car at home. Why is that?
Reason being, the old car, we know it well, found it to be good. The new car, we haven't tried it as to yet. And the chances are, if I brought it along, we'd have been wanting to use it.
This is the car you ran last year. What chance have you got this year?
Well, we ran this last year at about 2 months before last year's World Final, and we campaigned it all year, and it's gone well, and we should be in the top 10.
Mark, we were looking for a local favourite. Here you are on the front row of the grid. Does that give you a better chance?
That gives me a very good chance. I just hope that I'm going to keep out of trouble and everything goes right, and we'll be there at the end.
Talking about keeping out of trouble, in the last 2 World Championships you did have, in fact, a few scrapes.
You're very true there, and now I'm on the front. Everything should be going good for me this year, so we'll be trying to get there.
OK then, we're ready to go. This is the premier event in the Oval Racetrack calendar, the 1991 National Hot Rod Championship of the World, 75 laps. Back to commentator Nigel King.
Well, away we go on our rolling lap then with the pace car in front. hopefully to keep them in good order. This time we've lost one of the 4 world champions that was to have started in this event. 950 normal Woolsey's engine has blown, a rod has gone right through the side, resulting in a stoppage on the previous start and oil all over the track. All that's been dealt with, and hopefully now we're going to get a nice clean start to this 1991 World Championship. Well, that's it, a little bit of dust there, which is the cement coming up that has been put down on that oil from the previous incident, but at the moment it's a clean start, everybody runs, and up front already the pressure is on as 66 Colin Hall from Kempston near Bedford takes up the lead with 332. Mark Jones from Cambridge in second place. Right behind him is the 471 car of Steve Skidmore. And that's the view that Steve Skidmore has with those 2 cars right in front of him as we join our live in-car camera there. On come the brake lights of the 332 Mark Jones car. And just in front of him is the 66 car of Colin Hall. There they are, 1, 2, 3, and just coming into the frame there now in 4th place is the 286 car off Steve Burgess. All important, these early stages, to get the feel of things, establish a position. So 66 from 332 and 471, then 286, then former world champion 63, Phil White is next, then 303, Jeff Simpson is in there as well. There's the Jeff Simpson car, and that's the view from our camera live inside that one as well. And the traffic is getting a little heavy, a little bit of bumping and boring. That's the 63 Phil White car on the outside of the circuit there. And things really quite hectic, you can see. That Jeff is working really quite hard to keep that car pointing the right way as they go zooming down the back straight. Past some of those back marker cars. There's Colin Hall still there. Mark Jones still chasing in second place. 471 is still third. Mark Jones then in car number 332. And let's just get his thoughts on what the biggest problem he has to face out there in this race is going to be this afternoon.
The problem is this, as it's a speedway track as well as a hot rod track, all the dust goes across the track. So therefore, when you're going on the outside line, you only need the inside person to make one mistake, and it pushes you wide, and then it just lets the whole traffic, all the queue go straight through, and you can either be second place or go right back to 22nd place.
Well, that's interesting that he should say that, because exactly where he is at the moment is second place. And there's no way that he's looking likely to slip down to 22nd the way he's driving at the moment. He's going superbly just in front here of the Steve Skidmore of 471 car. There's the 1, 2, 3. Oh, and Mark Jones going a little bit wide now as 471 tries to poke his nose through. If Mark Jones gives him that sort of gap again, he'll take it. So here comes Steve Skidmore having another little go. And this is the view that he has there of the opposition. This is the car he's got to try and get by. Now, can he find a gap? Now, someone is just sneaking up through on the inside, 286. While he was doing that manoeuvre, Steve Burgess, in fact, there you can see 286 has now come up on the inside, and that's got Steve Skidmore boxed up on the outside. Look at the pressure that's on 332 now. 2 of them side by side, absolutely pounding him every inch of the way. And that's speeding him up and closing the gap up on the car in front. That's the 2nd, 3rd and 4th cars together there. And there is the leader, slap bang in front of them. What a scrap this is turning out to be. Now then, a back marker to be negotiated. These are always dangerous. Who's going to come out of this ahead? The 86 back marker is getting in the way. That's the Dutchman. But it's Mark Jones who goes sailing around the outside. And Colin Hall now gets boxed up and drops down to 3rd. So 332, Mark Jones takes it up. 286, Steve Burgess now goes 2nd. 471, Steve Skidmore goes 3rd. And 66, Colin Hall now drops down to 3rd place. Well, 66 was certainly capable of clocking up the fastest time to get himself on the grid, but maybe the lack of experience has showed a little there, and that has now cost him a few places, and he slipped from 1st down to 4th. So here we have our new 1, 2, 3. Still Mark Jones in 3:32, comfortably in the lead. 2:86, comfortably in second place is Steve Burgess. And sitting there in third place, the man with the camera on board, the 471 car of Steve Skidmore. Let's hear some thoughts from him about little problems like changing gear and manoeuvring the car right in the middle of the race.
Basically, we've got like a 3-speed gearbox where we have a clutch start first and then to second. And between second and third, we've got a rev drop so that if we get held up in traffic, we can drop it down into second, and then hopefully if we get ahead, we can put it in a third and drop the revs again and cruise the car around.
Well, cruising around is what he's doing at the moment, cruising around in third place, but it's not exactly cruising because he's got every single ounce of his concentration working very hard there to try and get past that car that you can see is so close just in front of him. So 332 from 286 and 471, and 413 has now come to join them. Roger Peck from Waddesfield has moved up now. You can see him on the left of the picture. You'll see him poke his nose. That car that looks like a mobile Union Jack, he has now moved up very, very fast indeed. Let's have a look back through the field and see if we can pick up some other places. We've got 332, 286, who's now just gone shooting ahead as 332 gets boxed on the outside, so 286 is the new leader. 471 is second, 413 has gone third, and 332 has dropped down to fourth. Then I think we go back to 66, and then 303, Jeff Simpson's trying to move up now. Manoeuvring through there by 286. He wants to keep the lead because he's got Steve Skidmore right on his tail. This is the 1-2. And here we are. This is the view from second place right now. Further back, we've got Jeff Simpson. There we are, 303. He's currently running about sixth place, I think. We'll check that for you in a moment, but there's so much happening. Places are chopping and changing. That's the car. Let's see if we can find out exactly where he is. 286, 471, 413, 322. He's about fifth. He's about fifth. And he's just trying desperately to get himself past the 66 car of Colin Hall, the early leader. That's the man he's trying to go by at the moment. Can he find a way by? There seems to be room on the outside, but it's a long way round there, and if there's any dust, it's very, very slippery, and you've got to make a very careful decision as to whether you go round there or not, especially if the man on the inside is nearly as quick as you. So here he comes, trying it again on the outside is 303. Down the back straight they run, trying to get ahead. The problem is there's two back markers immediately ahead of this pair, and that could spell trouble. There's two slower cars, just slowed right down at the end of that straight, and they came tearing down the straight to find two cars going almost at walking pace, and that presented an unexpected hazard. So let's try and pick up the places for you again. 286, 471, 413, 332, then 66, then 303, so I think we've got them all for you. Steve Burgess in 286, Steve Skidmore in 471, Roger Peck in 413. They're the first three. 332. Mark Jones is in the next place. Then we've got two back markers back to 66, Colin Hall, and 303, Jeff Simpson. And the rest are well-tailed back at the moment. One very significant feature is that there's no Irishman featuring in the lead at all at this stage of the race, and the stage of the race is 46 of the 75 laps golf. And Steve, Jeff Simpson trying to go round on the outside. He's almost got the measure of him, but he needs a bit more. He's got to go round the other two at once. He's got to take three in one go here. Now, can he do it? He's boxed 66 behind the two back markers between 69 and 693, but Jeff Simpson needs a lot of extra steam to get round the outside. Things, meanwhile, are hotting up at the front. It's 286 and 471 and 413. Roger Peck is putting in a very determined effort to try and get past those first and second cars. Roger Peck is the Union Jack there. You can't miss him. They're the first four, all in a line. 286, 471, 413, 332. Now Now then, what can he do? Meanwhile, further back, yes, 303, Jeff Simpson, meanwhile, has got past the 66 car at last while we were watching those others. And we've got to go back to the front because it's all happening now. As 413 Roger Peck comes sailing around the outside. Right around goes the Union Jack car to take up the lead as we hit 51 laps of the 75. 413 sails into the lead ahead of 286. Steve Burgess, who drops to second. 471 is third. 332 is fourth. That's the order now. Then we go back to 303 Jeff Simpson and 66 Colin Hall and the rest, and then 942, the first Irishman to appear in the picture at all. The defending title holder Davy McCall is currently running seventh. And it's 471 who goes sailing through, and 332 goes ahead of Steve Burgess. So Steve Burgess, who led for quite a number of laps, now drops down into fourth place behind 332, 471 and 413 Roger Peck, who is now steaming away ahead of them. And here we are, we're with Steve Skidmore once again in the 471 car. Dropping back, there he is. Certainly an eventful race for him, no doubt about that at all. Still 413 from 471, 332, 286, 303, 66, 942. That's the order. 55 laps gone, 20 more laps to go. And this young man at the moment is looking set for a remarkable victory. He's driven superbly. He powered past some of those other cars to get himself into this position. He's really driving absolutely superbly. So this is the guy who's in the lead. 413 looking very comfortable out front at the moment. 471 is second, 332 is third, 286 is fourth, and then we come to 303 Jeff Simpson, who is sitting right there in fifth place at the moment. Now the question is, I wonder what he's thinking about in terms of tactics right at this moment.
You've got to really just judge the traffic in front of you. You've got to see what sort of cars are in front, what people are in front of you to start. To try and go around the outside of some people is very difficult. The best place for pass is probably just going into the corner to try and outbrake them going into the corner. As far as changing gear, if I'm out in the lead or if I'm going well and there's a clear space in front of me, I've got a 3-speed box, so I've actually got 2 second gears. So I can put it in second gear or I can put it into third gear, which is it's another 400 revs high, so I can change gear to go faster if the traffic's not there.
Well, the traffic is certainly there at the moment. He's got plenty to cope with trying to get past the 286 car. But the lead car is still 413. It's still Roger Peck. He started this in 10th place on the grid. He very quickly worked his way through, and then one fantastic burst took him through into the lead. And at the moment, I think he's going to take a lot of catching. 413, Roger Peck from Wattisfield. He was fourth in this event last year, and at the moment, he's looking all set to make it a win. In actual fact, last year, he finished in third place, but he got penalised 1 place. So he's certainly coming back with a vengeance right now. This is the man who has now got 5 more laps to go in this 1991 Avon Tyres Kent Cam's National Hot Rod Championship of the World. And it's going to be a very popular victory, I can tell you that, if he can hang on for 5 more laps. Considered to be one of the up-and-coming drivers. And this is going to really go down with the fans here at Foxhall Heath as he battles through a few of these back markers. He's just got to keep himself out of trouble a little longer. Out goes the 3-lap board for him now, right behind last year's winner, Davy McCall, the 942 car. Oh, there's a world champion in front of him and behind him. 942, Davy McCall, he's just passed. 19, Mick Collard is tailing him around. And in a moment or two, it looks as if there'll be another world champion, because that Union Jack car looks all set now to carry Roger Peck to this championship. 4th place last year, looking set to be 1st place this. No real challenge to him at all. There's 1 more lap to go. He's sailing around. There's no one to catch him. 471 is comfortable in second. A long way back to 303, who's going to be third, but here's the flag, and here is the new world champion. Over the line he goes. The crowd jumping up and clapping away in front of us here, amazingly. Over the line come the rest of them. 471, Steve Skidmore gets second. A long gap back to Jeff Simpson in 303 is going to take third, but one thing about which there is no doubt at all is that this young man is the new world champion. 413, Roger Peck.
The roar that went up, Roger, when you actually took the lead there, and the roar at the end, I mean, no surprises, very much the local man. You only live about 10 miles down the road, don't you?
That's all, yeah. We've been waiting for this now for 3 years. I said I was going to win it within 3 years, and I have. That's great. But obviously, I'd like to thank everybody who's helped me get the car ready and all the sponsorship. That's great.
What about your race tactics? How did you attack the race?
Yeah.
What about your tactics? How did you approach the race?
Well, I realised if I was near to them, I was in for a well chance, and we got there in the end. So I just like to say it's my mother's birthday today, and she died about 3 years ago, so this one's for her.
Well done, Roger. And a word about the old Union Jack on there. You're flying the colours in some style.
Well, we knew we were in for a good chance of winning, so we put the colours on the car just to make it even better when we did get it.
So, confirmation of a great result for East Anglia, with Roger Peck, Steve Skidmore, Steve Burgess and Colin Hall, all from the region. But a third successive bit of bad luck for Mark Jones from Cambridge. 3 years now he's been in a challenging position. Fuel pump problems this time. Well, we'll take a break while the celebrations get underway here at Ipswich. Back in a moment with the best of the rest.
Big breakfast.
Orange juice.
1 cup of chai.
Fillet of fish for my wife. Big Mac. 2 Big Mac. Make it 3.
2 cheeseburger. 1 apple pie. What's that? Oh, no.
One small, 1 large.
Chicken McNuggets.
What car is built with galvannealed steel key body panels? What car has the latest multi-valve engines and is good enough to be guaranteed for 6 years? What car costs so little, yet has selected models with power steering, electric windows, central locking, a Blaupunkt stereo,